afternoon, friends. This is Moses Ashaba again, and today I took a nap and I woke up and decided to jot down a few experiences that I've had in the last couple of months, and I realized that God can do anything, anytime, in any way, and God can use anyone to share the gospel truth. The last couple of months have been an experience that I can't put together in one word, but I will just use the word an epiphany or an encounter with God Himself, with even the people that I least expected to meet. I met a young man at the Temple Golden Gate, for those who know the Philadelphia, and I had spent some time with him, and I realized he was a quite gifted young man with a background in chemical engineering and pharmaceuticals and everything to that extent. And as I was traveling, I ran into someone that I felt compassion for, but in time, the person spoke to me more than I expected. I thought I had all the answers, but I realized that God had even better answers for me. I tried to navigate a system that I had little experience with, and there comes the young man that I had talked to in one of the least expected places that met him. So I rushed to the young man and asked him to help me with something that very many preachers wouldn't relate with, because this person was outside in the cold. So I wanted to make sure she was warm. So I asked for food, and she turned it down, and she wanted something more than food. So I reached out to the young man and told the young man to help me navigate the needs of the young lady that I'd met. And he also turned down and told me he couldn't help her, but he was heading to a shelter, so I got him in the car, and he had something to I'm trying to look for the right word. He was supposed to finish his drink before getting to the shelter, so I made sure that I took him around before he finished his drink, and he was supposed to report at the shelter in the afternoon, so I didn't want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that he wasn't in any kind of trouble. But as a leader that has navigated some systems, I realized that he was tired, exhausted. So I started taking him around for a ride. We talked, we chatted, and we got to church. So I helped him get some rest and asked him if he wanted something warm to cover himself. So he rested for close to an hour, and I was led by the Spirit to take him to my house, and I made him some rice and the best meal that I make, and he enjoyed the meal, and we struck a deal. I told him that if he was to be open with me, I would help him navigate reconciling with his parents. So he opened up to me, so I reached out to both parents and told them if he was a distraction to the community or a distraction to the legacy of the parents that are well educated, well informed. I told him I would bail him out or advocate on his behalf. So we struck a deal. I drove him down to his parents' house, and unfortunately, he had been kicked out of the house and no one wanted him back in the community. So I made sure I left him on the porch, and I told him to make sure he rang the modern camera, the door with the doorbell and the camera. And it was a little drizzly and rainy, so I had to come back to my house and make sure that he was in good hands. And it struck a chord for me that we come to the United States and build a reputation, and also a status financially and socially and economically. And we also influence our communities based on our achievements, especially the education achievements and the degrees, the diplomas, and all the awards, and even the dignity we earn from our circle of friends. But I realized that people experience Jesus in different ways. There are those that meditate and on the word day and night, and there are those that pray in tongues, and there are those that touch the heavens in different ways. But I also realized that there are some communities that meet Jesus at different levels. And I preached this young man like never before. In my opinion, I may have crossed my expectations, but I used something that was more rudimental or raw material, if you could use a raw material. I used something that was very I would use like local, or I'm trying to use another one because my English is very limited. I used a rudimentary method. These are old archaic methods for parenting. It's more or less raising a child in a village. Growing up, I'd get in trouble, maybe throw rocks at people's windows, and the neighbors would discipline us to that extent. And each time we came to Nalongo, she would ask, "Why are you crying?" And we'd tell her, "So and so beat me for throwing the rock at their car or throwing the rock at their windows." And she would ask, the first thing would be, "What kind of drink do they drink?" And that would literally interpret into this woman is not on my side. So literally that was the best punishment for us as children. And I used the same method for this young man. And I realized that some people may not be able to comprehend, because we are raised by the systems in the school systems, and they're the ones that award us and discipline us. But when it comes to parenting adults, the systems still take charge to that extent. And I feel that there are different systems. There's a prison system, a system across the board. People are imprisoned for reasonable causes and some unreasonable causes. Some are duped into a trust system that ends up throwing them into the deepest challenges navigating the prison system. So I feel that this young man might have been left his own resources to navigate the system. And I realized that some parents were not willing to help out to that extent. So my prayer is that if you have a young adult that doesn't go to church, doesn't subscribe to a belief system, they should try maybe reading the Proverbs and Psalms in the Bible. And I think they would find God that way as well. To wrap this up, I will use the summary of saying that we meet God even at our lowest moments. And I met this young man, and I feel that God used him in my lowest moments. And you will never plan where to meet God. You may meet God through your next cubicle neighbor at work, or even the person that stops you at the stoplight, or even the police officer that pulls you over. They may be the ones that show you that God is in control and He cares more about you than anyone. So take a moment today and learn that we're here for a reason, and God has called us individually, corporately, or even as a church to reach out to to those that we may need in turn. And God will use everyone in different ways based on their experiences. And I feel that every experience works for the good. We preach the gospel in and out of season. So go out and find God in different ways, and also share the truths of Jesus, that he died and rose again, and we are here for a reason, to bless the Lord. I will wrap this with the Lord's Prayer in Nyankare Ruchiga, and I hope it blesses you and blesses those around you. Tata w'omwigulu, izina lyawe ddino, obukamba obugwije, ekyokunda kikolwa mu nsi nk'okukikolwa mu igulu. Otega bw'ekyo otosha, otusasira ebibi byaitu okusasira kukyaki, otatwala kwegwa, kuliko kino obubi, akwokama n'obushobozi n'ekitiinisa n'ebyawe